Lights, clapping, music, and go. Who am I?
Avi,
Oh God,
Avi,
I love
Avi. What
Avi.
this show needs is more Avi and less Sutton.
That's true. The reunion recap starts now. Oh, not reunion, finale. Oopsies.
Oh, I know.
Anyhow,
I'm already on the reunion because
same. I
we've
saw
been
the beginning.
talking
Yeah.
about the reunion's got a lot of stuff. Now, I guess we can't really talk about this. Not like
Well,
a
wait, before we
little
get going, did you see Avi's skin falling down
Avi. Avi looked like he gained a little weight
in
from the
that
end of
scene
the season.
when he walks Sutton to the door?
Okay, so at the very, very end, when they had the recap a month later,
Yeah,
what kind of rodent was that on the ground? Was that a big old rat?
it looked like one. It was scary. And I
Yeah, it
loved it. I was like, she
was.
was like, no,
And she
no,
thought
no, ma'am.
Avi,
No, ma'am, to the dogs. I'm
did
like, the
she
dogs don't
think
get it.
Avi was gonna pick that up? Avi ain't picking that up. I ain't picking that up. Sutton ain't picking it up. The only one there is gonna be the dogs that pick that thing up.
Listen, when I tell you something that when my dog ever sees that when we're on a walk, like anything dead, she jumps on my leg. Like she goes nowhere near it. She's like a human afraid of it.
I
Show her well.
totally 100% agree. Now we also, without giving too much away, Garcelle's announced this week that
Sad,
she's
but good to
left.
go. Can I just say something?
Of course.
I hate that this is happening this way because there's gonna be like anyone that's seen Garcelle over the years, like I don't think she's ever truly loved this show. I
No,
think
I
it's
agree.
been
I think
like
it was always been an avenue and
an avenue,
a
immobilizer
device.
for her, good money, obviously.
Yeah.
So I just
Exposure.
hope that people don't there's it could just be that she's like ready to go. And then there's two other
5 years is a
conspiracies I
good
have.
time. Okay.
One is that she couldn't handle that there was another black girl on the show and that she was a better housewife than her.
Oh.
And the other one is flip side of that. She loved that there was a black woman on the show. She loved that there was representation. And then when she saw Bose come in, she's like, "Oh, I don't have to do this anymore."
Oh,
So
oh, could be.
because if she wasn't engaged that much and wasn't like great, it could have been that she's like, "I just don't want this show to go back to all white women." Like I
Okay.
want to stay on the show. You never know.
Okay.
She's into that stuff. So like, but either way, I hope it's that she just decided to move on, and I hope people don't make it this, that, everything else. Because Bose, we've seen people come and go. Bose is just a standout person on
Cass.
television. She's
Mm-hmm.
media trained. She
Yes.
knows how to
Mm-hmm.
eloquently say things, but she's also funny, and she's
Yes.
been really real. And
Yes. And she's
yeah.
maybe the tallest housewife.
Oh, she's
I
great.
mean,
I
yeah,
love
I
her.
mean, she's statuesque. She's a
Oh,
presence.
she's
But
amazing.
I want to say Bravo should never, ever, ever book a boat again.
Oh
It
yeah.
doesn't matter what boat. From the Housewives of New York and Columbia, they almost died off the
Oh.
coast. From Vicky Gunvalson getting hit at Lake Havasu with the
Oh.
football. Never go on a boat. Please, Bravo, stop the boats
No,
because it's
the
never
boats are
good.
great.
I know when bad things happen on the boats.
They
We've
totally
had
do.
all kinds of things in New York, in the Hamptons on the boat.
The
I
New
mean,
York boat was nuts.
nothing. Oh, and even in Salt Lake this year, they're fighting on the boat, who's in the front, who's in the back, the whole bit. Boats, they should stop. I also want to say, Bose made it out like she brought these vendors in for them to buy stuff. Let me tell
Yeah,
you, and every resort in the
they have that.
Caribbean at night, they have these people come in because people want to buy this stuff, but they don't ever really want to leave the resort and they don't want to buy it from
Oh, they
sketchy
do it in
people.
Hawaii too. Every
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday they do it.
Yeah,
Like
they bring it in. She made it out like she did it. But
there were other people there. It wasn't private.
yeah, no kidding. I would have loved to have been there though. But I have to tell you, when Kyle Richards says, Kathy, what are you wearing tonight? And she said,
T-shirt and
shorts.
shorts.
I thought I was going to die. She legitimately
Did you see
came.
Bose's face when she walked into the kitchen?
Yeah, like
It said Versace. At least she had a Versace shirt on.
Kathy Hilton is one big anti-aging regime.
She's
Like from the
amazing.
moment she gets up until the
Even the
moment
Cheetos, even the Cheetos had me. Do you think she rubs some of that on, like certain marks?
I just thought it's so funny. Kathy, you're sweating to death. You're literally sweating like a pig.
Oh yeah,
And take some hormones for that, Kathy. I'm thinking to myself, because you are one big anti-aging treatment. All she does walking around
100%.
with the fan, and then she peed her pants. Not only did she pee her pants, sorry, but she had a spare outfit to put on.
I've only seen a few people talk about this on television, and it's funny to me because like
Well, I can say it because
Kris Jenner talks about it all the time.
yes, it's
Kathy
something
Hilton
that
talks about
happened.
it all the time. Maybe they have maybe in their group text because they're all friends, they talk about peeing their pants all the time.
I am going to tell you, you will never have this. I thank God do not have that problem. But women who've had a lot of children, and Kris Jenner has had 6.
Yeah, your mother used to say that too sometimes when she'd laugh too hard.
Yeah, yeah. Your
She was a
grandmother.
laugher.
I know. But like Chris has had 6 kids.
Oh
She's
yeah.
bound to leak. I'm just saying, it's something. And Kathy Hilton's what, have 3 children? I've
Yeah.
only have 1, so I don't have a problem with it. But I know women who will be just like, "Oh, I gotta go. I
Yeah.
just leaked." It happens. This is why Lisa Renna used to advertise for Depends. It
That's
happens.
totally true. What do
But
you think?
Kathy is just melting there,
Yes.
and she's melting.
What do you think?
I thought
I
the
think
dinner
that
was
Garcelle
nasty.
brings up. I think Garcelle brings up a good point though about Sutton. We've talked about this past couple.
Absolutely. I'm team Garcelle on that.
I don't think that like Garcelle. My advice to you would be quit the show if you want to. Stop pouring
And
yourself
she has.
into Sutton's
Yeah.
cup because Sutton doesn't pour herself into your cup. But
Yeah.
the reality is that you are absolutely right that Sutton favors Kyle, Kathy. I still think she would kick Kim to the curb. I think she wants to be Kim Richards, actually. Sutton
Yeah.
wants to
Yeah.
fill the
Yeah.
void
Yeah.
of Kim.
Yeah. 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 She'd
But
like to, she thinks she's a sister in her head.
but the reality is that I don't the comment that they showed in the montage that had never got enough um um power in everyone's head is the one couple seasons ago when Sutton goes, "You already lost 2 sisters, you want to lose a third?"
Yeah.
That is one of the
Yeah.
worst things that has ever been said on Housewives. And
Agreed.
and she did not have to deal with it. She like
No.
didn't. Kyle forgave her so quickly. And the reality
So
is they
quickly.
brought up this point of how Kyle and Erica forgive each other quick. I listen, in real life without cameras, I don't love that. I think that you people need to be held accountable, boundaries should be put in place. But I also don't fault Kyle and Erica for having this understanding that like they're both on a television show that they benefit from. They both are interesting without fighting, and they're both like keeping us entertained in different ways. And they maybe just say, listen, like we shouldn't ever let our beef impact our paychecks.
Mm,
And I just think
mm.
that they have a way of like moving on from things, and I don't fault them. I think it shows that they're secure in their own skin. And the reason, Sutton, why you can't move on is that when someone does something to you, you can't move past it because you take it super personally and you're not
Yeah.
able to. And
Yeah.
then when you do something to someone else, it usually comes out so mean because you've been harboring your feelings and your thoughts for so long that
So
all of
long.
it comes out at once and it comes off really mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's it.
agree. I agree. You know what? I wouldn't want Sutton as a friend.
I wouldn't either. I would love Avi though, so I would maybe be
I
friends
would
with
love
Sutton
Avi.
just to be friends with Avi.
And I think Jennifer's in a precocious
I
spot
don't like
because I
Jennifer as a
think
housewife.
no, but I love how she said, we only had $700,000. And then I said, I got a lawyer. And he said, go after Simpsons. And they're like, oh, you own the Simpsons? And she's like, yeah, what do you think this is? Chucky money? Chucky money only buys my snacks.
I love that. That was
I
so
did
funny.
like that. I think she's almost like in a Greek tragedy. There's always like this character off to the side that is narrating what's really going on, like the court
Well,
jester almost. And she's almost playing that role where she knows she's not a full housewife, but she's got something to say and she's
well,
not
like
really getting into
lately
the
they've
whole
been saying
thing.
like Adam Sandler like lives a very like simple life outside of like his career. And I
Right.
so many people are like, that's surprising. I'm like, no, it's not. Have you ever seen him
Nah.
act? He's organic, he's himself. He's not
Yeah.
like this over the top like he has a niche. Like he has like things that he's really good at. So why would he be this like weird like why would he be so different
Anything
behind the
different.
scenes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, like, that's why I like the like in a way, I take back the
Like
Jennifer
I
Tilly
can't.
part. The
Yeah.
Real
Okay.
Housewives of Beverly Hills. Think about what Beverly Hills is.
Right.
Glamour, celebrities,
Yes.
Hollywood.
Right.
So what you think of that is like every day it's like the Met Gala. And what Jennifer Tilly is showing us is that it's not. That you can be rich and be quirky. You can be rich and be
Yes.
messy. You can be
Right.
rich and be your own person. And I like that, I guess. So I take it back.
I like Jennifer. I think she's great. I want to tell you, I like Jennifer. However, the dinner was a little mean.
Yeah.
with they started imitating each other and oh yeah, no, no, no. I mean, like it was
Sutton, Erica didn't really sound like Sutton. She sounded like,
and it was funny, but then Sutton's was nasty.
yeah.
She was the only one that was nasty. And it's whatever it is in her is boiling over and it's not nice. She better rein
Well,
that
it's
in.
she doesn't love herself.
She is the villain right now.
She has no confidence in herself. She doesn't love herself. She doesn't believe in herself. And like the reality is that if I was her, I would lean in on that. I would play the victim. I just wouldn't come after people. I would literally make it all about me of how I need to heal my inner child. Like
Yeah.
how I have to heal myself. I'm battered. I'm sorry. I would play like this whole, I would make the whole next year or two. I'd bring a therapist on next year. I'd start some sort of an app of how people can heal their inner child and this and that. She's just not also, and then she says she has an IQ of 140.
No,
Did you
I
see how
don't believe
Kathy
it.
Hilton didn't even blink an eye, didn't even care, just kept looking at the jewelry? Where
Tell
Sutton's
me
like,
though,
ah.
do you think, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's thought of this. Could Sutton's fascination with Kyle be that she knows Kyle's dipping in the lady pond right now, and maybe she's secretly in love with her?
No. Nice thought though.
I don't know.
I don't think so because Sutton, like the reality is that Sutton will, again, never say never, but I don't think that Kyle. I
I
think that
wonder if
Kyle.
she has feelings for Kyle.
I look at Kyle as someone who needed to fiercely show the world that she is not Mauricio's wife, that she's not just the mother, that she is Kyle Richards. I can do what I want. I'm an independent person. I'm a survivor. I can be with a girl. I can do this. I can go back on Halloween. I can be sober. I think Kyle is just showing the world that she's her own person. I don't think Kyle likes women. I think Kyle doesn't need anyone right now.
Well, you say Kyle doesn't like women, then why did her sister and the previews out her for the
Well, because she
reunion?
said she can date whoever she wants at the reunion a couple years ago. So I think that Kathy is just like supporting her sister. I'm not saying that Kyle hasn't made comments that make it seem as if she may like women or that Morgan was more than just a friend. I think that deep down, Kyle is going to find in 5 years that she definitely is attracted to men. I think this is all part of her divorce process. I don't know who I am, identity crisis. Like, I think it's just her grasping at some straws. And I think that
So
Morgan's
what
the
do you
victim here.
think?
I think Morgan's the
What do
victim
you
here.
think came first? Kyle's explorations with Morgan or Kyle breaking up with Mauricio?
I
Because
think
I have a
Kyle leaned on Morgan as a friend.
and then
Morgan's a
something
lesbian who's
happened.
single, and a
Yes.
really pretty, beautiful woman was hitting on her in
Yeah.
her mind. Kyle
Yes.
was just leaning on her for support and friendship in her
And it
mind.
got confusing.
And Kyle, I don't think crossed any boundaries before anything happened with Mauricio. But then I think when that happened, things with Morgan maybe, and it could have been more. This is the thing. Morgan, this is why I don't love the whole thing of like who hits on who or whatever, because the reality is, and this came up in Southern Hospitality, you don't watch it, but um Joe Bradley, who hooked up with Luann,
Yes.
the gay guy on Southern Hospitality, one night when they were wasted drunk, Joe Bradley like fell asleep spooning him and apparently touched his dick.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And the
it
guy
happens.
was friends with Joe Bradley for years, the gay one, and had a crush on him. So he
Oh,
took
that's
that completely
cruel.
the wrong way. And
Yes.
then when like it kind of came up, Joe Bradley denied it and really made the guy feel terrible. Kind of like and that happens, and apparently it happens a lot more in the South, where there's like closeted straight men that
Oh,
like, and because of the fact that like there's less gay men out in the South than there are in different parts of
you
the
mean
country,
closeted gay men?
closeted gay men or just like really insecure straight men that just don't like that they need some attention because they're not getting it or
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they use the gay guy as the pawn, and then the gay guy's left with like, oh, what about me, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they're the
Like
ones
I
that are
was
told to be
used.
quiet and all this,
Yeah.
and it's like really emotionally draining for them. So the reality is I can see, I don't know this, but with Morgan, she's a lesbian in the public eye. There's not many. Let's call it what it is.
True.
Far more gay men than lesbians.
Yes, in the
Um,
public eye. Yes.
and she's also, I think there's there's a few I think musicians, especially in the country space, that the one that had breast cancer, she's a big lesbian. I forgot her name. What's her name?
Stop.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know you're talking about. Yeah, the
Um,
one who had David Crosby's kid.
yeah, she's like a rock star kind of.
Melissa
Melissa
Etheridge.
Etheridge, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
David
and
Crosby is her child's father.
yeah, so exactly. So like
She
there's
wanted
people
somebody who
out
was a
there.
friend and a
Yeah,
musician because she wanted her kid to be a musician. So David Crosby loaned.
good. At least she's
Well, he didn't loan
preparing for
his
the
sperm; he
nepotism.
gave it. Yeah,
At
yeah,
least she's
yeah,
preparing the genes to be ready for the nepo mindset.
yeah.
So the reality is that I think Morgan was it was bad timing. I don't think Kyle, like, let's also face this. Do we think Kyle Richards Umansky, whatever you want to call her, is an expert on the emotional mindset of a lesbian? No. So she
No,
just was leaning on a girl that was giving her attention, a girl that probably had a lot more feelings for her than she was making that out to
and
be.
things got
And
complicated.
things got complicated. And then maybe she did dip down the lady pond a little bit. But I think with Kathy, it was more like we have to remember Kathy and Kyle have been through a lot. So I feel that there's a lot of at times we'll see moving forward where they just give like very much like Miss Universe, Miss America answers to things. Like, oh, is your sister's a lesbian? How do you support that? Oh, well, I'll just tell my kids maybe I'm one too. That's good. That's community.
Yeah,
I'm showing Kyle she's not alone. Whereas like
yeah.
Kathy might be like in a normal time, like, I've never been told that by Kyle. So, and that would be true and that wouldn't be rude, but Kyle's gotten mad at her for saying those things before, being like, "You shouldn't say that. You should support me." Like they've had those moments where like Kyle's done it to Kathy, Kathy's done it to Kyle. We saw the whole Sprinter van thing where Kyle was like, "Yeah, but Kathy, sometimes you do say things." And it was like Kathy wanted in that moment like you know what? If she said anything, she probably didn't mean it. Get over it. Like that's probably what she wanted in that moment. And Kyle was like, I didn't think I said anything wrong, but I didn't, I guess, say anything right either. So I just think they're gonna always like protect each other. That's that.
I agree. Now, when Kathy said, wow, Bose really outdid herself here with these costumes where they all look like Vegas
I
showgirls,
just
let's
don't like
face
so
it.
much close to their crotch as a gay man. I don't like knowing what's right behind the curtain. It's a little scary to me.
So tell me, I knew Kathy Hilton was not going to have one of these things on. She was in
Yeah,
a moo. But when
thankfully.
Kathy Hilton says, oh, Bose really outdid herself here, is that a compliment or an insult?
I didn't love Bose's outfit. I thought that it was be
I thought
great.
they were all over the top.
I thought that Bose, that would be great for Keely in the bedroom. You know, maybe he can put the wings on when he's banging her, like can you fly? But the reality is, she had a little too much. I don't know. I just didn't love it. I might get shamed by this if we even have anyone still listening at this point. I don't think her body type aligned for that many holes in the
Yeah, it was.
outfit.
I thought the whole outfits were over the top.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
they
there
were all
was
impossible to pull off too. Like those are like Victoria's Secret underwear fashion show outfits.
that is like the Christmas Angels coming
Yes,
out. That
yes.
should be Gigi Hadid
Now,
and
if they all had
Giselle.
muumuus on like Kathy with the
Kathy,
wings, that would have been different. I
yeah,
did like how they didn't plan for how the wings were going to sit at dinner too. It was like like they couldn't move, like Botox face. They're like,
yeah, yeah. The whole thing was a little much,
but at least
but
they kept themselves private. No one could see.
they did. I want to say as the season wraps up, and we've got the reunions coming up,
Yes.
3 parts, I believe.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I respect Erica Girardi. She's still married to that man. They are
Yeah.
not
Erica has
divorced.
had the most growth I'm not going to say since the beginning of her time on Housewives, but from when everything dropped with Tom Girardi to now, from when it comes to what she looks like, because
Hmm.
she gained a lot of weight. I didn't notice it in the time. I knew she was a little bit, but she looks incredible now. And
Incredible.
I think that the way she's handling herself, she has superior diction. She is so incredibly like well spoken. And I just love how she's embraced her new normal of her house. Like she is so proud of what she's been able to do with her home, and yet she doesn't have a lot to be proud of.
Well, no, I mean in California and Beverly Hills, it's still probably a couple $1,000,000. It's
For
not like
sure.
it's
And it's perfect
nothing,
for
you
her. It's
know?
just one person. Like,
Yeah.
and she's not
Her and
like
her evening
Bose.
guests. Yeah.
Yeah, and she and Bose are like she's not like talking Bose about how she's gonna have another kid.
Right.
She might
Yeah.
meet someone and they maybe have a I imagine her probably never getting married again. I imagine her probably
She cannot get married until
well he'll
Girardi
die
dies.
soon.
Right. She's still, this is one of the big things. She is still married to him.
Yes.
because which doesn't make sense to me because you
She
can't
can't get divorced
divorce
though, right?
somebody who has dementia, yet they said he was able to stand trial. So why she hasn't divorced him, I don't know. That is a question.
Well, that also could be, if that's the truth and that's the legal truth, that is a flaw in our legal system. Because if you can stand trial by yourself, there should not be another law that doesn't allow your partner to get divorced from you. That makes no
Well,
sense.
they don't allow people to get divorced once you have dementia because you can take half of their assets, and if they have to go into a, a,
Oh, and assisted living,
a
it shouldn't
listing
be. Yeah.
living or whatever, they want to have all of your
But it's
assets,
like Tom
not
Girardi can
just.
stand trial, but Wendy Williams is locked up in the seventh floor of the hospital in New York, calling all the talk shows from her cell phone.
And she got the deets on Diddy too.
Listen, Wendy Williams is so great. When she called The View, she said, I walked outside to go to dinner, and of course, the paparazzi's there, and I pose. You know how I work. I pose.
Yeah.
Pose. I just love her. I just love her. So,
Well, you know what I wonder on Wendy, and this has nothing to do with Beverly Hills, but I'd like to know, do you think all of Wendy's issues are legit, or is there any that are manufactured for her own protection? I have to wonder.
yeah, I don't really know. I do know that, like, it
Because I
was
do
weird to
believe
me.
she's ill. I don't want to say I don't believe she's ill. I do believe Wendy is ill.
Yeah,
But with all the info she has on Diddy and stuff, I'm not sure if some of this isn't just to protect herself.
maybe. Or that someone on the
I'm
inside
not
is
not
putting
that
her
I'm a
there.
conspiracy theorist or anything.
Or the Diddy side is behind all this
I wonder.
to
I have
protect
to.
himself. Don't
Oh.
take her off the air. Create this whole situation. She knows way too much.
Well,
She's got
that's
a
what
big
I'm
mouth.
thinking. Yeah. Well, that could be, but she could be in there to protect herself too.
Maybe, maybe.
I
Who's
don't
the
know. We'll
mess?
never know the truth. Sutton, 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 Sutton,
Sutton.
Sutton,
Andy,
Sutton,
if you don't put Sutton on pause,
Sutton.
I don't think she should be fired. But if we had to deal with Dorinda on pause, Tamara on pause, all these people put on pause, I don't know why you won't be putting Sutton Stracke on pause. Unless you want to truly see the ship sink next season and then you put her on pause. I don't know.
I would only like to see Sutton back because if without Garcelle as her pillar of strength,
Ooh,
I think she could really go quickly descend.
you're right. That's good. Let's keep it
Because
that way.
without Garcelle, she has no one.
No one. No one. Kind of
All
like
right,
without
all
me,
right.
you got no one. I'm just kidding. Love ya. Anywho,
Bye.
follow us, comment, subscribe, like, share, tell everyone about how much you love us or how much you hate us. We don't give a shit. Bye. Bye bye.
Bye.